Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Richard. I run cloud engineering for Babylon Health. Babylon are an organisation who our mission is to put an affordable and accessible healthcare service into the hands of everyone on the planet. Not a small aim, I'm sure you understand. And as part of that, we recognise that technology is a very, very important thing to augment the knowledge and skill of the medical professionals that obviously provide that frontline care. So we are primarily a health organisation, but technology is an extremely important part of what it is that we do. And one of the things that we've been working on over the last sort of 12 months is really making sure we can deliver that technology as quickly as we possibly can and in the best kind of way. You know, the kind of thing that we've all been working on, hence we're here today. A few things. Firstly, I think you're all aware of Gene Kim's cloning machine. So whilst I am here upstairs in my loft conversion talking to you, the camera, there is an evil clone of me downstairs in my office on the laptop, able to answer your questions on the Track 1 Slack channel. So if you jump on there, my evil twin will be able to answer any questions you have as we proceed through. Secondly, this is a subject which we could spend all day talking about. So this really is a sort of introduction to the concepts that we've come across as we've gone on our Terraform journey at Babylon. There is a lot more detail behind it. Please do ask me about it. I'll be at all the networking sessions in the next couple of days and really look forward to answering your questions and similarly quizzing you on how you've worked with Terraform, how you've made your infrastructure as code work as effectively as hopefully it can. So the key message I want to try and get across and the key approach that we took at Babylon was we thought Terraform isn't special. It is just another programming language. And that's the key tenet to everything I'm going to talk about for the next sort of 25 minutes. Concepts such as dependency injection, such as separation of concerns, all of these things that if we were writing code in Java or in Node or in any other established language, we wouldn't think twice about executing. I've found that Terraform coders seem to sort of forget about. Some of this is because the facilities of Terraform have been quite limited over the years. Terraform 0.12 obviously has brought in some amazing features, which has very much helped enable some of the things that we'll be talking about in the next few minutes. But not everything. Some of this you could have done with 0.11. Some of it is just a way of thinking about making sure, in particular, that our code doesn't repeat ourselves. This dry principle is something I'm going to keep coming back to. So let's have a look. Let's slide up. So let's have a look at what it is we're really trying to achieve. What were the challenges? I joined Babylon August last year, came into a team of amazing platform engineers. What is it that that platform team was struggling, that we were trying to get over with the infrastructure as code and the Terraform that we're trying to use? So firstly, and I think many of you will recognize many of these, all of the cloud expertise kind of lived inside my team. And as such, we were constantly being called upon by other teams. So we have 100 and something microservices in Babylon, all existing in a Kubernetes cluster. Those microservices talk to infrastructure, but the concept of microservice was very much the Kubernetes bit. The RDS instances, the Elasticaches, the Lambdas, all the other things that made part of the ecosystem were sort of mysterious to the rest of the organization. And we were the only real people that understood how it worked. More than that, we were really the only people who could actually deliver it, which is a sort of huge problem when we're trying to lean things out and making that work visible. And we have bottlenecks everywhere and handoffs and obviously a huge amount of delay. So linked to that is increased pace. By enabling the other teams to deliver, we can go faster, but similarly, we ourselves wanted to go faster. We were finding that the way we'd structured our code was making life very, very difficult. I think you've all come across the phrase yak shaving. We were finding if what we wanted to do was just make a simple change to an RDS, actually, we had to do 7 or 8 things first, and that there was no such thing as simple, which was very, very difficult. We also had an awful lot of divergence, both in configuration, really, and the challenge of ensuring that there was kind of a small number of ways of setting things up really hadn't been considered in the evolution of Babylon over its 5-year existence. So we had RDSs set up in entirely different ways. People are using different Postgres versions. People are using different MySQL versions. People haven't considered moving to Athena, all of that kind of stuff. Secondly, linked to that, I think we all understand the only way of really keeping track of your cloud costs is to make sure all of your cloud metadata is in really good shape. If you don't have consistency, particularly in that tagging, then you can't really track where your cloud costs are going, and you can't attribute them up to those microservices. And therefore, you find the bill lands with your platform team, which is exactly the situation we were in, and exactly one of the reasons why we decided we wanted to go down this path. And finally, almost most importantly, but certainly equally importantly, we need to enforce compliance. We're a healthcare organization. We're ISO 13485 compliant. We've just submitted high trust. So hopefully we'll be high trust compliant very soon. We're HIPAA compliant as we work in the US a lot. We need to be able to demonstrate to our annual auditors that we are compliant. And we were finding that we had to do a lot of work to gather evidence before each one of those audits. Where if we sat down in advance and went, right, this is how we're going to be compliant, this is how we're going to evidence it, this is how our infrastructure as code innately ensures compliance, we find our audits are actually a much more pleasant experience, and we're able to just kind of go, oh yeah, here it is, this is the answer, this is how we do it, this is how it works. And we can evidence, again, using that metadata, that the resources that have been provisioned in the cloud have been generated using this infrastructure as code, and therefore will be compliant because we can show that the code is compliant. And that's been hugely, hugely helpful for us. So let me wind back a little bit and talk about what I mean when I say let's look at